Have you ever found yourself lost in thought, only to look around and realize no one else seems to be asking the same questions? It's a strange feeling. You're not upset. You're not better than anyone. You just see the world through a different lens, one most people avoid looking through. And the more deeply you think, the more you begin to notice a quiet divide between yourself and the rest of the world. It's not your imagination. Society often misunderstands and even resists those who think deeply, not because their ideas are wrong, but because those ideas reveal truths that many would rather not face. Throughout history, great thinkers have been misunderstood, mocked, even exiled, not for being foolish, but for daring to question what everyone else accepted. From Nietzsche to Simone Weil, these minds stood apart, not because they wanted to, but because they couldn't help it. But why is this the case? Why does deeper thought often lead to deeper isolation? It starts with a simple truth. Most people prefer comfort over clarity, and deep thinking, by its nature, threatens comfort. It asks inconvenient questions. It questions traditions, beliefs, and even identity. And when that happens, people don't lean in. They pull away. Here's the thing. When someone is wealthier than us, we might feel envy, but we don't feel attacked. When someone is more attractive or successful, we might admire them or compare ourselves. But when someone thinks more deeply, we often feel exposed. It's as if their presence alone highlights everything we haven't thought through, and that makes people uncomfortable. There's a psychological term for this: identity threat. When someone challenges the ideas we tie to our sense of self, it activates a subtle defense mechanism. We tune out, we dismiss, or worse, we ridicule. Because it's easier to reject the thinker than to question ourselves. But here's where it gets more complex. Deep thinkers don't just feel disconnected because others avoid them. They feel disconnected because they see things that others don't even notice. When your mind naturally searches for meaning, for nuance, for patterns others overlook, it becomes harder to enjoy surface-level conversations. You crave depth, but the world seems built on distraction. And so you pull back, not because you're better, not because you're bitter, but because you're tired of pretending small talk feels fulfilling. The loneliness of deep thinking isn't just social, it's existential. While others chase status, routine, and pleasure, you start to wonder, why are we doing this? What does any of it mean? And in asking those questions, you realize how few people are even willing to consider them. You become the quiet observer in a world that doesn't want to be watched too closely. And yet, there's beauty in this burden. Philosopher Søren Kierkegaard once wrote that the crowd is untruth. In other words, truth rarely lives in the majority. It lives in solitude, in quiet thought, in the courage to question when no one else will. So maybe you're not alone because you're broken. Maybe you're alone because you're awake in a world that prefers to stay asleep. Modern life, with its noise and algorithms and instant gratification, doesn't reward slow, deliberate thinking. It rewards attention-grabbing, outrage, simplicity. But thinking deeply is the opposite. It's quiet, it's patient, it's uncomfortable. And that's exactly why it matters. Deep thinkers are the ones who build the bridges others will eventually cross. They ask the questions no one wants to face, until they can't be ignored. They are society's early warning system, its conscience, its mirror. So if you feel like you don't quite fit in, if your questions are met with silence, or if your insights are too heavy for the room, don't shrink yourself. You're not lost, you're just ahead of your time.